Welcome back to the Deep Dive, where we take your sources and really try to unearth the most compelling insights, helping you get informed without all that information overload.
Mm-hmm.
Today, we're plunging headfirst into Chapter 13, Shadowed Confrontation.
Yeah, and this is a deep dive that really, truly lives up to its name. We're exploring how even, really carefully constructed plans can just completely unravel.
Right.
And what happens when those hidden truths, the ones lurking underneath, finally explode into the light.
Okay, so our mission today is to pull back the layers of this really high-stakes chapter. We're going to unpack a pivotal moment of, well, brutal truth for our main character, Jack.
A tough one for him.
Definitely.
Right.
And then witness a high-octane rescue operation and dive into honestly, a surprise showdown with forces that have been lurking in the deepest shadows. So, yeah, get ready for some truly unexpected twists.
Stuff that really redefines what we thought we knew.
Exactly. Okay, so we pick up right where we left Jack, and he's reeling, absolutely reeling from a revelation that basically shatters his understanding of his entire life.
Yeah.
He's just learned that his whole existence has been like a carefully observed, almost manipulated game. What's the impact of this on Jack? It must be huge.
Oh, it's massive. And what's truly insightful here, I think, about Jack's dawning realization isn't just the betrayal, though that's huge.
Right.
It's the shift in his understanding of his own, agency.
Yeah.
He's suddenly seeing his entire life as this carefully stage-managed operation.
By his own family.
By his family. The sources tell us he's processing that his situation was investigated behind his back and that his mother and her team, they watched him, just hoping he'd grasp the gravity of it all.
Wow.
And he finally connects the dots, realizing, oh, God, I should have told my mother about Oscar's death.
Right. Right. It's not just a simple, oops, I messed up kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's like a complete reevaluation of every single interaction he's had.
Oh.
He's connecting those past attempts his mother made to get him to open up, remember? Like inviting him and his siblings to dinner or that mother-son date.
Yeah, those seemingly innocent things.
Exactly. Now it all makes this chilling kind of sense, doesn't it?
It absolutely does. And this raises a really critical question. Why the silence? Why didn't his mother just tell him?
Yeah.
Well, the sources state she knew the Russian mafia would deliver their absolute harshest punishment.
Which way?
Killing everyone Jack was close to, driving him to madness. That was their MO. And suddenly, Ivan and Vlad's earlier threats, the ones about targeting his money, they click into place for Jack.
Oh.
It becomes clear his mother and her team were operating deep in the shadows, letting the Russians operate freely almost.
Yeah.
Using them
How?
to force his hand, to basically drag him, kicking and screaming maybe, into their world, this world of organized crime, espionage, the family business, basically.
So this wasn't just tough love then. It was this extreme, almost cruel strategic move.
Yeah.
Letting his whole social world collapse to achieve this bigger goal. Imagine that feeling, knowing your own family watched your life spiral towards ruin and did nothing until you hit rock bottom.
It's brutal.
Does the source material give us any insight into, the ethical thinking there?
Yeah.
Or how this might affect Jack's trust long-term? Because surely.
That's a really critical point. The sources suggest the Godmother saw it as necessary, a painful, yes, but necessary induction into her world, a reality check.
Right.
And while it arguably saved his life from maybe a more direct, immediate threat, the long-term emotional cost for Jack, well, it's left kind of ambiguous.
So lingering resentment, maybe.
Definitely hints of that. And just a fundamental shift in how he sees his family. It's pragmatic, almost cold protection.
Okay. So as Jack's mind is just reeling from all these staggering revelations, his immediate thought, his desperate concern is his family. Understandably. It's
Yeah.
a tears asking, what about the family?
And this is such a deeply emotional, really pivotal moment. His mother, the Godmother, she tells him, I would never let anyone kill my family. They're fine.
But Jack doesn't buy it.
No, he's overwhelmed. He doesn't believe her. And her response is just blunt. Shockingly blunt. Your belief is irrelevant.
Ouch. Wow. That's a tough line from a mother, especially right then.
It really is.
Does the source suggest she feels conflicted at all? Or regrets it? Or is she just purely pragmatic in that moment?
The source really emphasizes her unwavering resolve. You feel the weight of her decision. The emotional subtext is there, but her words, they prioritize the stark reality.
Okay.
She explains her reasoning pretty clearly, points out Jack killed a man connected to the Russian mafia.
Big mistake.
Huge. And lied to her about it. repeatedly. She says she wasn't acting like the police when she kept beating around the bush,
He was giving him a chance.
Exactly, trying to give him a chance to confess, a chance he just kept ignoring.
So his secrecy basically tied her hands, made everything worse.
Precisely. She makes that crystal clear. It made what you went through harder for me than it had to be. But despite that tension, she does reassure him. Says the family was fine when she got arrested, hasn't heard any alarm since. It's her own unique way, I guess, of showing concern amidst all the ruthlessness.
Right. So with that incredibly heavy truth just hanging in the air, the conversation pivots sharply from personal anguish to, okay, what do we do now?
Yeah, immediate action.
Jack asks, what now? And his mother's response is chillingly direct. We end this now.
No messing around.
None. She's planning a direct attack on Slavic, stating, it's me for the final stage. The stakes just couldn't be higher. How does she manage that pivot from brutal honesty to immediate strategy?
Well, it's pure Godmother, isn't it? It speaks volumes about her character. She doesn't wallow. She takes that raw emotion, that tension, and immediately channels it
Into action.
into decisive action.
Right.
This isn't just about revenge, though maybe there's some of that. It's about asserting control, eliminating a threat, and crucially pulling Jack fully into her world.
Right, setting the stage.
Exactly. And the narrative immediately shifts. We go from that intense emotional beat to the cold, calculated preparations for this really daring assault.
Okay, so from that emotional bombshell,
Yeah.
the story just snacks focus. Intense preparations for the assault on Slavic's base. Full-on mobilization.
Yeah, it shifts fast. We see Ricky Fletch, one of the Godmother's key guys, an enforcer type.
Athletic build, medium.
Right. He's already on the ground interrogating some poor guy bound in a bathtub trying to get vital intel.
Grim.
And he's relaying this info to Richard Shield. Now, Richard appears to be orchestrating something complex, an escape plan.
An escape from Slavic's base.
Yeah, for the Godmother and her people.
Yeah.
After the assault, presumably. It's expected within hours, so the timeline is incredibly tight.
Wow, okay. Planning the exit before they even go in.
Exactly. And Ricky himself is armed to the teeth pistol, automatic rifle positioned strategically in a truck outside the base, trying to blend in.
So it's not just attack, attack, attack. They're setting up this elaborate, pre-planned escape route. Thinking ahead.
Covering all the bases. Meanwhile, Patrick, another key operative, he's anxiously checking on Freely. Remember, she was tortured.
Yeah, how is she?
She's responding to medication, apparently, but needs more time. The recovery timeline is still a bit uncertain. Adds another layer of pressure.
Definitely. And the scale of this thing.
Oh, it's massive. The Godmother's plane lands near the base. She immediately splits her team, one for the direct attack, the spearhead, and one for backup and support. Classic tactical move. Shows her strategic thinking.
Right.
And we learn about significant reinforcements coming in, too. 3 large trailers, each carrying 6 SUVs. Tinted windows, concealed passengers, they're all heading towards the area.
6 SUVs per trailer, so 18 SUVs plus whoever's already there.
It's a small army moving into position. This isn't just a raid, it's a major operation.
Okay, while all this is happening, Slavic, he seems kind of unaware of the full scale of this storm coming, right? He's getting uneasy.
Yeah, uneasy is the word. He can't reach Sarge, suspects he's been compromised, so he orders his men to high alert, but he doesn't seem to grasp the sheer force converging on him.
And then we get that really intriguing detail. Vera, the ghost's second in command.
Yes. She gets notified that the Godmother rescued her leverage.
Which must be Freely, right?
Presumably. And Vera just smiles. What does that smile tell us? Is this like cooperation or something way more sinister?
It's got to mean something.
It's fascinating, isn't it? Because it tells us there are even deeper layers here than we first thought. It suggests her organization, the Ghost, isn't entirely against what the Godmother is doing.
Or maybe they expected it.
Or anticipated it, yeah. It implies this larger, intricate chess game, different factions moving pieces, and maybe Slavic is just, a pawn.
Right.
Could be shared objectives, could be the Ghost is just watching the chaos, ready to capitalize. But it's definitely not a smile of concern. It's knowing, satisfied almost.
Okay, this is where the action really, really ramps up. Godmother and her convoy arrive near Slavic's base. It's formidable, heavily fortified. Jack sees it and says, looks like a fair fight.
Yeah, spoken like someone who hasn't seen this world up close yet. And Patrick immediately corrects him, highlighting that vast difference in perspective.
What does he say?
Something like, you Air Force types don't understand. There's a big difference between what's visible and what's hidden. Basically, don't judge by appearances.
Good advice in this world, probably.
Definitely. Then the Godmother gets crucial intel. One of Richard's informants pipes up.
What's the intel?
Slavic's got 4 men outside, 10 inside, plus 2 personal bodyguards, all armed. Concealed Berettas, P90s, serious firepower.
Okay, so heavily armed.
Yeah.
And maybe more hidden, like Patrick said. So what's the plan? How do they approach?
Patrick and Claudia opt for something surprising, almost low-tech but clever. The drunk couple routine.
Seriously.
Yeah. They just stroll towards the guards, pretending to be completely wasted. Patrick tells Jack, watch and be ready.
Why that tactic? Seems risky.
Classic misdirection, right? Aims to lull the guards into a false sense of security. People tend to underestimate or just dismiss drunks.
Yes.
But the godmother, watching them, she notes her own unease, like a gut feeling. She feels they've lost the element of surprise somehow.
Uh-oh. Instinct.
Yeah, suggests a deeper intuition, maybe a foreboding that something isn't quite right, despite the clever plan.
And despite that feeling, Patrick and Claudia are, well, incredibly effective at first.
Oh, yeah. They take out those 4 guards in seconds. Punches, kicks, a knife. Quick, brutal, efficient.
But you said something wasn't right.
Exactly. The infiltration is far from clean. As Godmother and Ray move to secure the area, they run into 2 extra guards at the back entrance.
The discrepancy.
Right. Not in the intel. Ray, reacting instantly, shoots them without hesitation. Gotta maintain surprise where possible.
Makes sense.
But then, Claudia, here's where her recklessness just explodes onto the scene. She literally just walks straight into the building. Walks right in, and immediately gets shot. Twice!
Whoa!
Luckily, she's wearing special armored clothes. Saves her life.
Okay, wow. Close call. How does Patrick react?
His calm demeanor just shatters. He turns into, quote, a machine of precision and fury. Takes out 4 enemies instantly. Pure reaction.
And Claudia, after being shot,
she manages to shoot 3 more before finally retreating to cover. Patrick is furious, obviously. Yells at her, "You're lucky you didn't get yourself killed."
and her response.
She just smiles and says something chilling, like it would cure her headaches permanently.
Jeez. What does that tell us about these operatives, that mindset?
Wow, it's more than just bravado, isn't it? It really underscores the extreme psychological conditioning, maybe even a fatalistic outlook that comes with this line of work.
Like death is just part of the job description.
Exactly. For operatives like Claudia, facing death daily, maybe that dark humor, that disregard for personal safety, becomes a coping mechanism. But you have to wonder, right? Is that fearlessness a tactical edge, making them unpredictable?
Or is it just a huge liability?
Yeah. A dangerous liability for the team in the long run. It definitely highlights how blurred the lines between life and death are for them.
Okay, so chaos inside.
Yeah.
Patrick furious. Claudia reckless but effective. What happens next?
Godmother and Ray enter, join the fight, swiftly take down the remaining shooters. The team pushes towards Slavic, who's basically yelling at his men for failing, his operation just crumbling.
Corner!
Yeah. Patrick throws a flash grenade, forces Slavic into cover, sets the stage for the final confrontation.
Okay, so the team corners Slavic.
Right.
Multiple guns on him. He drops his weapon. Surrender.
Seems like it, but then instead of just ending it, the Godmother sits down and talks to her.
Talks? No, that's unexpected.
It's a total masterstroke of psychological warfare. Host.
Yeah.
Pure Godmother. She confronts him about I even remember him.
Vaguely, yeah. The one who refused the offer.
Right. Refused a $50 million peace offer without even consulting Slavic. She throws that in his face, then challenges his whole identity, his claim to be the ghost, calls him useless, a pawn at best.
Oof. Undermining him completely.
Totally. And then she says she won't kill him. Instead, she'll let people believe he talked. Says only idiots need others to believe them. I don't.
Wow. That's devastating. More effective than a bullet, maybe?
Exactly. It hints at this much larger, unseen power structure. And it reveals that for her, true power isn't just brute force. It's controlling the narrative, manipulating perception. She's not just eliminating Slavic, she's destroying his network from within by sowing distrust.
So she's playing a much longer game here.
Okay.
But as she leaves, things escalate again.
Instantly, Jack's voice suddenly just blares through their earpieces. Urgent. You need to get out now. SUVs are closing in on the area like they're setting something up.
An ambush.
The shift is immediate, jarring. Patrick immediately suspects Slavic was stalling them. Ray thinks Richard is the mastermind behind this sudden trap. Claudia figures Slavic is just a pawn, like the Godmother said.
Everyone's got a different theory. Chaos.
Total confusion. They realize they've walked into a trap far larger than just Slavic. They're sprinting from the building. Boom! Slavic's part of the building explodes. confirms the trap was real. They barely escaped the blast.
Close call.
Very. And just then, Sirkich's phone, the one Patrick found earlier, it rings.
Who is it?
The godmother answers, and the voice on the other end? It's Vera.
Vera, the ghost's second in command.
Yep. And she says, "Your mother in crime."
Mother in crime. What does that mean?
Huge reveal, right? Confirms this deeper, maybe more personal connection to this whole shadowy organization. Ties right back to her knowing smile earlier.
Absolutely. What else does Vera say?
She reveals they've been trying to find the godmother for 18 months, missing her repeatedly, suggests this long-standing, complex history between them we knew nothing about.
Wow. 18 months.
Yeah, the godmother just hangs up, and then the full scope of the ambush becomes terrifyingly clear. SUVs taking tactical positions, a truck signaling them, men piling out with automatic rifles.
A professional hit. Coordinated.
Totally. Claudia screams, "Oh shit, we need to get out of here now." Just in the nick of time, Jack pulls up the armored vehicle.
Good timing, Jack.
Seriously. They jump in under heavy fire. Godmother yells at Jack, "Drive past the truck." He floors it.
What about the truck? The signaling one.
It swerves, tries to block the road. It's a diversion tactic, sacrificing itself under a hail of bullets.
Buys him time.
Buys them precious seconds. A stark reminder of the sacrifices involved in this world. Brutal, but effective.
Jack rams through the SUVs, blocking them.
Yes, smashes through 3 of them, speeding away. But Patrick, ever the realist, points out they've lost control. They're not safe yet. Not by a long shot.
Still in the thick of it.
Ray comments, how lucky they are to have the armored vehicle. And then the godmother mutters something under her breath.
What?
Damn you, Richard.
Richard, wow. Okay,
Right,
what a ride.
Yeah.
We've seen Jack confront these brutal truths about his past, this manipulation.
Yeah, whole world flip.
Witness this daring but definitely flawed extraction.
Yeah.
And uncover these incredible layers of deception, sacrifice. The godmother's world is just so much more complex, so much more ruthless than Jack ever imagined.
It stretches from these really intimate family secrets to, global espionage. It's huge.
We've peeled back the layers of this shadowed confrontation, and it reveals that even when you think you've won the direct fight,
Right, like taking out Slavic.
the true battle might just be starting.
Mm-hmm.
All these mentions of ghosts, mothers in crime, this enigmatic Richard, it shows the conflict runs so deep. Hidden players, shifting alliances.
Yeah, a constant struggle for control that's way bigger than just one target, one objective.
And that final line, that muttered, "Damn you, Richard," from the godmother. What does that reveal about her relationship with him? The future of this mission. And Jack's new place is an incredibly dangerous place in the family.
It throws everything up in the air again, doesn't it? Suggests the deepest threats maybe don't come from the obvious enemies you're fighting head on.
Yeah. It leaves us with a really compelling thought, I think, in a world where loyalty isn't just tested by, outright betrayal, but by this calculated manipulation, even if it's supposedly for your own good.
Mm-hmm. The tough love taken to an extreme.
Exactly. How much control do we actually have over our own story? Especially when the people closest to us, the ones who are supposed to protect us, are pulling strings in the shadows because they think they know best.
Right. Is their version of protection worth the cost of your own perceived free will, your own choices? It's a heavy question.
It really is. Keep digging, keep questioning, and keep joining us for another deep dive.